Hello and welcome to yet another video. Today we are looking at something super cool. I had the idea to build an email assistant. So basically I wanted to be able to chat with your emails. I mean, lots of people are building chat with your PDF solutions, or they are all inbuilt and lots of chat interfaces now. But I've rarely seen any, or actually I have not even seen any at all, chat with your email solution. So I thought, there must be a way to connect to our Gmail account and to get that information. And that is exactly what we are going to do today. So before I chat with our lovely email assistant here, which we already said hi to, as you can see, let me quickly show you what emails we will give him. I will, of course, not give him access to my whole Gmail account, so you don't need to see what I have in there. So I labeled those emails. So we will give him access to those emails here. And yeah, you will see in a second what is happening. Basically, I also wrote some emails to myself so that I have some more interesting content in here. But there's also a message from OpenAI and lots of YouTube notifications. Let's just see what happens when we start chatting. Okay, do I have any new emails? Let's do it. Oh yeah, and looks like there's even something to do for us. So let's see, we have some email where we have an action required. There's an urgent one here from myself, which says, oh, I need to publish a new YouTube video. Let's check it out. So I emphasize the importance of publishing a YouTube video about the AI email assistant. So when are we supposed to do this? Today? Ooh, okay, so I have a task for today. Then it also found a non-urgent task, which it still seemed to has some action in it. I stated humorously that failing to do the laundry will have dire consequences, so I need to do this by tomorrow. Okay. And then there's also some just informative content. So yesterday I received an email about some update of terms of service. Then OpenAI has gotten some money of me, and we also have some new YouTube subscriptions. Interesting. So let's actually check this email about the laundry here. So we can just press the review email link. And we are straight going to our Gmail account, and now we are in. So we have here, do the laundry. If you do not do the laundry today or tomorrow, lots of cute kittens will die. Oh no, that's bad. Have to do the laundry. Let's go back. So now, of course, we got our super nice summary, so that we know immediately what do we need to check or might want to check or do something about it, and maybe review the emails ourselves, and what we can just ignore. And now, yeah, it's asking us if we want to mark these emails as read. And yeah, I think I'm informed now. So let's do this. Let's say yes. And let's wait a second. Okay, the emails have been marked as read. So let's go to our Google Mail account and see if this is actually correct. At the moment, we don't see it yet, but I think it will just take a second. Or maybe also a reload. Ah, there it is. So now we can see the first 10 emails, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, have been marked read. So I'm not sure I told you at the beginning, but I configured to get the 10 newest emails. You can change it. You can also change it, have it get more emails. So there's still some unread emails. So let's ask again, any other unread emails? Oh yeah, there they are. And now it finds out that there is actually nothing of importance here. This is only informative emails about, again, YouTube subscriptions, and then also a welcome email to Zapier where I registered. And yeah, that's all. So let's also mark those as read. Sure. I don't need to check those. Okay, it also did that. So let's again wait a short second. So I think it actually even does it live, but the UI here takes a while. But let's wait a second just to be sure that they are marked as read before we continue. There they are. And now you can still ask it any more emails. Oh, okay. And as we can see, there's no more unread emails. We are done. So basically, yeah, we have our own email assistant, which goes through our emails, check what's important, gives us summaries, writes down our tasks, and also we have all those links here to the emails. We have also a link to the inbox here, so we can immediately jump in and get working. So I think this is pretty amazing. So to set this up, we need to authentify with Google. And this is the only part which is a bit meh, because it just takes so many steps. So I created a whole documentation just for that. And as you can see here, this is a long one. It's a very, very long one. But there is no way around it because they want to make the system safe. It's meant that no one can, that the email cannot be easily hacked or reduce it. So it's all super, super complicated. But following these instructions here, you will be able to do it. So let me actually roughly show you the process. So first of all, you need to create a Google Developers account. You just go to the homepage and press a button and register. Pretty simple. And then you press this link here and create a new project. I already have it open here. So you can already see my previous project, Rivet Gmail API I've created. And also important note, as you can see, this is free. Using the Gmail API is free. I also think you don't need to add any payment data to your Google Dev account. It should all work without anything. So let's press this, create project. Now we can give it any name. So we can code Rivet Gmail API 2. Of course, I'm not doing this professionally, so there is no organization. So I press create here. And now we can see it's creating our project. So let's wait a second till that is finished. Here we are. Now we can select the project, and that is our project page. On here now, in all this lots of information, we go down here and we go to getting started and explore and enable APIs. Let's click that. So now we have to click enable APIs and services, and we are searching for Gmail. So Gmail, here we are. So we're clicking on enable. And we're waiting. And we are going to use create credentials. Now we will be accessing user data. So we select that here and we press next. And we can give it a random app name. Let's call it Rivet. Now we need to add a support email. So that's just my email, and a developer contact information will also be just any email you want to add. Oops, sorry. That was the wrong button. Okay, save and continue. Now we need to add scopes, and we get to this not very nice list. Actually, can we filter it? I didn't try it yet. Oh yeah, we can filter for Gmail at least. And now, very important. First of all, we need read only so that we can read our emails. So it's off Gmail read only. There's also a description here. And then, as we want to mark the emails as read and unread, we also need modify. So there is nothing smaller here. So the scopes are basically defining what actions can we do using the API. Just one note, there was also labels, and I thought that this one might be good enough to remove the unread label, but no, you can only add or change labels, but not attach or detach them from the email. So we need to add this modify permission here. So once we have done that, we press update. And now we can see that we have two scopes down here. And we press save and continue. So now for the OAuth client ID, we need to choose web application. Again, we can give it any name we want. Let's call it Rivet. And now for this redirect URL here, we have to add a special one. Oops, sorry, I have to copy it first. I have it in the documentation. We need to add this redirect URL here from the Google OAuth playground we will also be looking at in a second. Let's press create. And yeah, now we can press done. By the way, don't worry if you see any of my credentials here. I will tear down this whole project before, before we will be, before I will publish this video. So this is not an issue. So I can now open the credentials for later. But for now, we will go into Cloud Overview Dashboard. And now we go to APIs overview. Okay, actually, we just made a circle. We could have gone here immediately, but it doesn't matter. And now we go to OAuth consent stream. And here we need to use a test user. So we are having a application at the moment, which is not published, and we also will not publish it because then we would need to do some approval process by Google. So we just add a test user. And here now, we will also add our email address from our Google account. So I add mine here and I press save. And now I have a test user. Now, next step, we are going to the OAuth 2.0 playground. First thing we do, we press on these wheels here and we check use your own OAuth credentials. Now we go to credentials, to the credentials page. I mean, those links are all in the documentation. And we go in here into our new project from what we created. And we need two things here. We need the client ID. Let's copy that and add it here to client ID. And we need the secret and put it in here to secret. Then we press close. Then once more, we are using a gigantic list here. And by the way, this down here is not a search. Don't use it as a search. It will not work if you add values. You will just get errors. We go to Gmail. And now again, we are choosing our two purposes. So it was read only and modify. And now we click Authorize APIs. So what we see now is we have to select our Google account to authorize it. So we press on our account. And now, this is now in German, but usually in English, the app is not tested. Important here is the forward button or proceed button is on the left side. This is the back button. So we need to press this button here. And now we have to give the permissions. And those are the two permissions we previously set. So we can just change all. So it's basically it's reading and changing. And now we proceed once further. Okay, we are nearly done, but not yet. Now we have an authorization code here. We need to press this button to exchange it for tokens. And finally, we need to go back because we need those values created here. And we need to copy this refresh token here. So this is the last value we need. So what values do we need to make it work? We need the client ID, the client secret, and the refresh token from here. And now, finally, let's go to Rivet. So, I mean, there's multiple way of running this graph. As you have seen it, I was running it with Chatbot UI, which is my preferred method. For that, you will either need to install my Rivet Chat API and Chatbot AI locally, or use my template to deploy it on Railway. I'll link you both videos in the description below. Now, important thing is, again, for the setup, if you want to run this Rivet graph like this, if you just want to go in here and be able to press the run button, in the project, you need to go here and add context values. And you need to add those three things. You need to add the Google Client ID as ID, and the value is the one from the client ID, the secret and the refresh token, so that those values are available. So that's very important to do if you want to run it here. For the other two ways to run it, I also have the information in my description. So basically, if you run it on Railway, you need to go to the Rivet Chat API service, and you need to press new variable and add those three things in there. And very important note, you need to update to my current version. And I had some issues doing that. So in the worst, I'm trying to figure out how to solve that this is some Railway issue. In the worst case, you would have to redeploy your template completely. So completely do a new one. And locally, you have as you know, if you use it, you will have a launch JSON. Here, if you run it locally, you need to go in there and add this to the env part where also the OpenAI key is and so on, you will add those 3 entries there. Okay, so I'm so sorry for all those installation instructions. They are just horrible. So let's finally go into the graph and show you a bit here what's happening. And generally, this is also very complex, so I will not do a full run through the whole graph now. I will just show you what you need to use it. So the most important things are actually those green ones here. So there are some input values. First of all, here is our system prompt. It's a pretty chunky one. Let's maybe start at the bottom. Because here you can see I told it how our answer template looks. So that's how I told it that it should do an urgent section, a non-urgent section, and also how all this is supposed to be structured. So if you want to have it differently structured, you can change this, this template down here to instruct it to behave differently. Of course, then there's also lots of text here. And for example, for determine the priorities of the emails, there is lots of hints how to do that. Actual deadlines versus suggested urgency, required action versus suggested engagement. So I actually try to make it that marketing emails, which always tell you it's so important you immediately buy our product now, will not be urgent. But basically, this is up to you. This depends on your personal on your emails you're using. So yeah, you should you might want to update this part, this big part here, and adjust it to your needs. Then there is the settings for Gmail. First of all, do you also want to include the spam trash folder? If yes, you can just write true in here. I think false. Oops. I think false is usually the logical value. Then how many emails you'll be retrieving at once. Be aware, of course, if you use lots of emails, then first of all, ChatGPT might get much slower, but also the cost is higher because you have a higher more token usage. So yeah, set it to whatever you like, but maybe not too high. And then the third one is, here is this filter. This is actually you can put any Gmail search filters in here. So let me just show you, for example, I was searching for only label Rivet. And if I wanted to, so additionally to the is unread, and if I wanted to do that, we could just copy this in here. So you can basically try out those things in the Gmail search bar. And if they work, you can just copy them in here. So this, for example, is the one I've been using when I was showing it to you. But of course, in the template I will share with you, this is just put to is unread because you will not have the label Rivet as I do, so it does not make sense. Okay, then generally, what is this doing? So basically, we are giving ChatGPT 2 functions. One is to get emails. So this is also as a description chat, it just retrieves all new emails. And for this, ChatGPT does not need to give us any information, it just needs to call the function. And then we have the second one in here, which is label emails as read. And for this one, we expect an array of IDs. So it gives us multiple IDs, all the ones that should be marked as read. And it can call it. And then this is basically a loop, which is going to a chat. And once and if ChatGPT calls a function, we are actually going to subgraphs to handle that function. For example, here, get emails or label emails as read. So one of the both. And then we are feeding back the function result. So the to ChatGPT, for example, from get emails, it will be the email content which we are feeding back here. And yeah, that's it. One more note. Oops, sorry. One more note. This graph is, not really made to be run in Rivet directly. We have some standard input here. So as you can see there, so we will always ask for emails and you will see this. I can show you what happens. So we can run this and we can see that it called a function and now the second time it should write our reply. There we are. Now we are getting our answer. But as you can see, I did not really enter a user input. We are not managing the chat history. So if you wanted to do this in Rivet alone, you would need to add all those parts additionally on top of it. But so that's why I recommend also using my solution with chatbot UI, because then the chat is managing the history for you. And next time, every time the graph is run, this part here will just be extended by the previous messages automatically, and it will work. So that's my recommended usage. But as you can see, you can also check it out like this here, although it's not formatting it as nice as well. Okay, this was a rather long video. I'm also really sorry about all the explanations I had to do. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. I also used Zapier first and tried it with Zapier, but that got even more problematic. So I think this is still the best solution, using the Gmail API directly. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and comment. And of course, also, I think this could be extended a lot. If you have any ideas you want to see with this project, how we could further develop it, please let me know. See you in the next video. Bye.